in some of those plastic boxes are some very embarrassing old school books. I very much, as a child, expressed my identity through how I covered my school books. I don't know if anyone else is like that, but I took it very seriously. It was like a huge deal at the beginning of the year. Like, what am I gonna put in my books? What are people gonna like know me for? Like a dramatic, stupid stuff. They can all go now. They can 100% go in the bin. I don't need my school books. Mum's like, should we keep them? And I'm like, definitely not. So they can all go in the bin after I've shown you. All right, let me grab them out. Let's have a look. We have a lot of daddy long legs in our house. And I wouldn't say I'm scared of spiders, but I also just don't want them near me. Please don't be a spider on this back. Ooh, excuse me. Ooh, I hate this. I hate it so much. Ooh. I also seem to have disrupted a lot of flying ants, but we don't have flying ants anywhere else in our house, so this is very bizarre. Come on, guys. I don't know why I'm doing this to myself, because it's so embarrassing. I genuinely thought I was cool. Isn't that sad? Okay, this is not what we're here for, but there's a very old story writing book. The fact that I wrote the S backwards baffles me. Like the fact that there was a point in time where I was like, I don't know which way this goes, is so weird to me. Like it's an S, you dumbass. Look at this cat. I am a little cat. What is that? What is that? Being a kid is so weird. So this says mum is die, which sounds terrifying, but apparently I was trying to write mum is big. Bless me. Stop it. It says I like my Barbies, but look at that fringe. That's not a fringe, girl. Oh my God, I was stupid. Tim sat on the mat. Look at Tim. Wow, he hasn't changed, has he? He still looks like that to this day. Thank you, God, for mum. Really sending mum mixed messages here. All right, they're all in order. My goodness. Apparently when I started taking this seriously was year 3. Okay. I have nothing against these people. Like, it's not that, it's just that it's bizarre that I wanted to have these people in my school books. Let's see what we've got. So, for biblical studies, I went for exactly what you'd think I'd put on a biblical studies book. Reese with a spoon in a pink halter. This is biblical studies. Nice, good stuff. For writing, went for Sarah Michelle Gellar. I was obsessed with her in the Scooby-Doo movie. I thought she was the most insanely beautiful person I'd ever seen. I don't know what subject this is for, but Delta Goodrem, who I was obsessed with when I was younger. Wow. I mean, Born to Try is still a classic, really, isn't it? For Man in God's World, again, exactly what you'd think. I went for Christina Aguilera in a halter top with some low-rise jeans. Who is Man in God's World if not Christina Aguilera in a halter top? That's what I want to know. English, I also went for Christina Aguilera. Spelling, apparently I went for Beck Hewitt, which is so weird to me. I must have listened to her music. Oh wait, what was her name before she's married to Leighton? I have no idea, and that's shameful. Last but not least, for my journal, my absolute childhood hero, Avril Lavigne. She was everything to me. She was everything. I assume she's still putting out music, but like her original music and then the transition to, what was that album called? The one with I Don't Like Your Girlfriend on it. That transition was life-changing for me, and I love her, and I stand by this cover. All right, so that was year 3. Apparently for spelling, I went for Amali. I do not know who this is, but I didn't just go for Amali. I went for an Amali James Matheson combo, because apparently Australian Idol was huge at this point and I loved James Matheson. It's the duo that we didn't know we needed. For biblical studies, I went for A Lovely Candid of Missy Higgins. For PDH, I went for another Avril. For draft, I went for A Picture of Mary-Kate and Ashley from New York Minute. This movie was, I mean, life-changing. I still love this movie. I would still watch this very happily. I was a huge Mary-Kate and Ashley fan. I still miss them. I mean, I hope they're happy, but I miss them. They were in my life so much and then they disappeared, and at least we've got Elizabeth. For handwriting, I went for Mary-Kate and Ashley, of course. Millsy, Guy Sebastian, Jack Sparrow, really fits the theme, and I do not know who this is. For maths, Orlando Bloom, because what an angel. I was obsessed with the first Pirates of the Caribbean. That's the first thing I seen Johnny Depp in, and I fell in love with him. So obviously on homework, I have a nice big Jack Sparrow. And then on the flip side, I have a bit of Keira Knightley, just to keep that Pirates of the Caribbean vibe going. Year 4, Man in God's World, Anthony Kalia. A giant Anthony Kalia. Also, the fact that I vibed with this metallic green is very bizarre to me. To this point, I feel like I didn't really have like who I was. I think I was quite girly up to year 3. And then I changed. There were a lot of different factors that kind of changed my vibe. I think like it started with Avril Lavigne. Like she was so cool to me and she was like a massive tomboy and I just wanted to be her. Also, I kind of like made new friends. Jess, I love you. And Dim, I mean, I don't think you're watching this, but hello if you are. And they were both like tomboys and I thought they were the coolest people in the world. So of course I changed myself to be like them. That was a huge change for me. Year 3 to year 4, I became much more of a tomboy, a lot of soccer. Apparently I decided I liked skating. I had no idea what I was doing. I was also terrified of falling, which if you're terrified of falling, don't become a skater. So super girly to tomboy. There's not a lot from year 5, but I have this. Yeah, I became obsessed with the Panthers. I went for this kind of paper. I think a lot of them I just covered with this, which is not cute, but very skater-esque. This was the year after my family and I went to Europe for 3 months. My uncle had a Yorkshire Terrier. I was obsessed with this dog. This is me in England. I was obsessed with this dog. For years after that, all I wanted was a Yorkshire Terrier. And I apparently put a photo just of my uncle on the back of this, who owned this dog, which is so weird. And the rest, prepare yourselves. This stunning, I think we'll all agree, skating paper. Oh yes. Oh yeah. 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 I'm gonna have to move because I'm dying. Okay, it gets a little bit less embarrassing now, but I'm gonna keep showing you because this is so odd to look at these now. So we went to Europe in year 4. From that point on, I was head over heels obsessed with London. Like all I was doing was planning on going back, and that has continued through my whole life. It's my favorite place in the world. I get this feeling when I think about being there that's like nothing I feel about anything else. Anyway, so I was riding that wave hard in year 6. This is possibly my most themed. So we went for photos of our trip with Union Jacks. Now I think this is quite cool, to be honest. This was mum, this was not me, but she worked hard. She worked hard to do this on every one of my books. Thank you, mum. Like, why? Why did you do this? Like, I was an embarrassment. I didn't deserve this. So we've got London Eye, Big Ben, Houses of Parliament, bit more London Eye. Look at, like, she did this on every freaking book. It's mental. Buckingham Palace, of course. Tower Bridge. And then we have a few of me. As I said, year 4, I became my best tomboy self. Let me just say, it wasn't just these people I think are cooler like this, I'm gonna be like this. A part of me has always been a huge tomboy. I was obsessed with Tim, my brother, growing up. Like, I was just obsessed and like wanted to be like him. There was always part of me that was a tomboy, but it really like reared its head year 4 and year 5 and probably year 6. Year 7, like a long time. So it wasn't just like an external thing. It was like, it was a lot of who I was. So we have us in Trafalgar Square. Look how tiny I am. I'm tiny. So this is me in London in my Manchester United jersey. Look how happy I am. Love and live. It's also important to mention that this vibe that I rock, this tomboy vibe, also kind of morphed into, so it was like tomboy and then also like my skater side. That morphed into like kind of goth. So it's just like a whole thing, right? So not only was I walking around rocking my Manchester jersey, my sports shorts, I was also walking around with a sweatband covered in red skulls. So that's basically who I was. I was a tomboy / goth. This is our phone booth. This is me at St. Paul's, rocking my jersey. Look how cute I am. I don't know where this shirt came from. This is entirely left field. Probably left over from when I was a girly girl. But this is me at Madame Tussauds, buzzing to find the David Beckham statue. Like, look at me. Look at me. I'm so happy. That is year 6. I have 2 from year 7, but it's just the weirdest selection. Year 7 is when I got into Leno and Woodley. I'm still very into Leno and Woodley. So this was that time, year 7. Also, apparently, I mean, I know why this is, but I chose Sweeney Todd. I mean, very dark, and I've never seen it. The only reason it's here is because of Johnny Depp. Because as I said, my obsession, it carried on for a very long time. So I'm very interested to know what the rest of my year 7 ones were, because that's just weird. That's a weird selection. Leno and Woodley, Sweeney Todd. I have year 8, year 9, and year 10 left. Year 11 and 12 out of folder. These are still things that are like a part of my life. So year 8 is all the Mighty Boosh. I love them. I love them so much. I love them to this day. Noel Fielding is an absolute angel. I love him. But apparently year 8, that's when this happened. So I probably got into them in year 7 and all of year 8 was the Mighty Boosh. And I love them to this day. So I am very proud of year 8 me. I feel like up to that point, I was questionable. But year 8, nice. Year 9 is me now. First of all, let me show you my year 9 music book, which is a trip. So apparently these were my favorite artists in year 9. Chris Martin, obviously. U2, Muse, Florence, Regina Spektor, Paolo Nutini, Mumford & Sons, Washington, Angus and Julia Stone, and the Whitlams. I'm not mad about this. Year 9 me, this is still all I listen to. Mumford & Sons, Coldplay, my 2 favorite bands. Florence is top 5. I still listen to U2 all the time. Muse, probably top 7. Love a bit of Paolo all the time. Regina's an angel. Good work, year 9 me. Or like bad work now me? Nah. This is good. I'm proud of this. Good work. I just basically haven't changed since year 8. Around year 8 and year 9 is when I became obsessed with Coldplay, which obviously has stuck with me to this day. I remember really losing my mind when Viva La Vida came out. So that's what year 9 was. Year 9 was lots. I still love these. I'm still like, these are still some of my favorite Coldplay photos. I love that. I had that poster. The Rolling Stone, Chris Martin again. Left, right, left, right, left. Viva, Parachutes, Prospects March. I mean, their Viva era was just untouchable, really. This was a significant moment for me at their concert, so that obviously makes a show. Rush of blood to the head. I also had this poster. So that was year 9 me. I love her. I want to hug her because she did good. I would cover books with Coldplay now. Like, all right, last year, I would say this is still a part of who I am, but not quite to this extent. I think it was like about year 9 and 10. I kind of left my tomboy goth skater stage, thank heavens, and headed the opposite direction to high fashion because, you know, tomboy, skater, goth, high fashion, it's just a natural progression. All these things are like still inside of me, which is the weird thing, but they just came out at different points, and this was my high fashion time. It lasted for a long time until, I mean, you don't care about this, but a few things. It kind of crossed over with my kind of realization of how awfully animals are treated and the abuse that they suffer and how vile and disgusting and horrible it is what is done to them for no good. No one can justify what is done to animals. I'm fine, I don't get heated about this at all. I couldn't get the two to mesh. Obviously now there are brands that are either doing a lot better or there are brands that are new that are just like awesome. Stella McCartney's an angel, like she doesn't use leather, she doesn't use fur, she does blah, whatever. But I couldn't get my two loves to mesh. It was like, I love these shoes, I love this bag. They're leather, they've got fur, they're, you know, I love their makeup. Oh, it's all tested on animal. Like, it just didn't work. And then there was the other part of me that was like, the stuff that I can get that's not disgusting, it's so expensive and I could never afford anything, and so it kind of like my love just kind of dropped off. But my love for fashion has stayed. It kind of like dropped me into like who I am now. I feel like it was kind of like extreme, 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 really extreme. Oh, level up. Anyway, so this was just a lot of the campaigns that I cut out of my Vogue. So I have Prada, Fendi, Gucci, Dior with a baby curly gloss, Valentino, Louis Vuitton with Freya. Bea Erickson was my favorite model, if anyone knows model stuff. Chloe, Chanel with Abby, and Burberry. Two of my loves crossing over, Burberry and Emma. Look at Emma. I thought she was just like insane on this cover. So yeah, those are my high fashion ones. That's it. That's my books, guys. Hopefully that wasn't boring. It probably was. I have gone through a lot of stages in my life to be who I am right now, and that will probably change as well. It's so interesting looking back at those, but it's time for them all to go in the bin. Thank you for watching my random schoolbook video. Hope you've had a great week. Bye!